Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
I think people need to be encouraged, reminded. And Howie Carr's column is a good list because it's full of a lot of little things that are big things.
Thank you, Rush, for mentioning my column. I didn't hear that live because I was listening to Grace do her impersonation of me, talking about Boston Blackie. Right, Grace?
Yes, I'm honored that you're listening to me. That's really cool, though. And it is a great column, and everyone should check it out because it does summarize how a lot of people are feeling, especially today, Howie. I sent Corey Lewandowski a text, and I said, hey, awesome 4 years. You guys rocked it. Can't wait to see what you guys do next. And he said it flew by. And that's how it feels. It does feel like it flew by really fast.
Yeah, I know. It did. It always does. When it goes fast when you're having a good time. This next 4 years, I don't think is going to go so fast.
It will go faster if you listen to the Grace Curley Show and the Howie Carr Show, though. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, I really like Donald Trump Jr.'s. I guess it was his Instagram last night. We was talking about the Lion King. Did you see this one, Grace?
No.
He said, "Do you remember the Lion King where Scar cheated to become king, and as a result, the lions lost everything, and their country was overrun with hyenas?" Just asking, no reason.
Well, I think Trump put it really well today, too, when he said, if they raise your taxes, I hope they don't, but if they do, I told you so.
That's one of the first things I told Taylor to get today. This is cut 5.
I hope they don't raise your taxes. But if they do, I told you so.
And if I hear any of my liberal friends complaining over the next 4 years, I'm going to say, hey, he has really nice tweets at least, and he's very decent. He's ushering in unity and decency.
Someone just texted me, Grace, and said that they have a moonbat friend who can't bring herself to use the word censorship. They say deplatformed. Talk about a euphemism, right?
Well, Howie, did you see the story that was run the other day in USA Today? And they were saying that people are using the term Orwellian wrong because people refer to George Orwell's 1984 and they say, and they just make reference to it because of the censorship that's going on. And someone else tweeted back at them and said, you guys trying to tell us how to use it, that we're not using the term correctly is the definition of what it is. Telling people how to think. It's really wild. But Howie, I wanted to bring up something on a lighter note. Did you see Bernie Sanders today at the inauguration? There were some wacky outfits. Lady Gaga had on a very interesting dress that people are also talking about. But I think that Bernie Sanders is way more funny. He was wearing a parka and hand-knitted mittens. And he had some sort of piece of mail.
Yeah, I know. What was that all about? That's what I was wondering. What is he? Is he turning into the Unabomber or something? What was he? He does. He's a senator. He doesn't have an aide that he can give the mail to take down to the mailbox.
See, I actually like this about Bernie Sanders because I think it makes him seem more legit. It adds a little cachet to his socialism stuff.
You mean kind of like stealing the Sunday Washington Post off his neighbor's yard in D.C.?
Yeah. Well, it's like I remember one time the mailroom manager was mad at you, Howie, because you were wearing some sort of sweatshirt. It was all tattered. It had all like an ice cream stain on it or something like that. And I remember I told my mom, and she said, "Oh, I think that's cute. I think that's kind of Howie's thing. Like it doesn't matter how successful he is, he still likes to wear his sweatshirts." And that's how I feel about Bernie Sanders. I like that he wears the big weird mittens. But the tweets about this were amazing. Someone said, "Bernie's dressed to stand online at the post office."
Yeah.
And he said, Bernie Sanders showed up to the inauguration day proceedings looking like a man who was preparing to shovel the driveway, a man who was about to head to the grocery store. And once again, he just looks super grumpy, but he was probably warm. He was probably a lot warmer than the other people there.
Look, he ran for president twice, and he now has 3 houses, and he's a multimillionaire. I mean, what's his complaint?
Well, he got
every man has his price. Bernie can tell us that better than most men.
He got that from writing very successful books.
Right. Yes, I understand that. I do.
You understand. If you get on the New York Times bestselling, bestsellers list, you don't really have to work anymore.
No, you
can buy
don't.
3 homes.
Obviously, yeah. Here it is. All these years later, I'm still coming to work every day.
It's amazing.
I guess my bestsellers didn't sell as well as his did.
Well, you're not married to Jane Sanders.
That's right. The mailroom manager doesn't run a media buying organization.
Can I just do one more note on the fashion front?
Yes.
Melania Trump today looked stunning. She truly looked like Jackie O. She had the big black sunglasses on, the beautiful suit, and then she changed into some really funky Palm Beach dress that she wore when she got off of Air Force One in Florida. And once again, I know I say this all the time, but not one fashion magazine in her 4 years, one of the most beautiful first ladies of all time, and just no respect. But I hope she knows that some of us fashion plates really loved watching all of the beautiful outfits.
I was glad to see her wearing black, by the way. I thought it was appropriate for the occasion.
Yes, it was very fitting. I agree. By the way, Howie, since we're talking about unity, I wanted to tell you the latest bit of decency that I saw on Twitter today. Did you see Stephen King's tweet about Kayleigh McEnany?
No. Stephen King?
Yes.
The author?
Yes.
Okay.
So Kayleigh McEnany tweeted, "Serving as press secretary has been a true honor." And then she went on to say it was a great privilege and, she was honored to do it. He retweeted that and said, "Enjoy your next job as a cocktail waitress in Tampa."
Could that be considered sexist if a Republican has said something like that?
Well, when the moonbats in your comments tell you that you should probably stop being sexist, you've crossed a line. And a lot of other people were saying, "Hey, I was a cocktail waitress." Like, why?
And what's wrong with Tampa, by the way?
Yeah. No, he's really offending just large groups of people.
He's from Bangor, okay? Now, what's today, January 20th? Where would you rather be today? Bangor, Maine? Tampa, Florida?
Ooh,
I rest my case.
That's a tough one. I'll have to think about that. And another piece of unity, Howie, the Lincoln Project tweeted out today, "Just now, Ivanka departs the White House for the final time." And it was a picture of a witch on a broom in the sky.
I guess there's some members of the Lincoln Project that really don't like women all that much, do they?
No, but they're pretty fond of the other.
561 says, did Dr. Jill wear her hospital scrubs? Did she come to the inauguration directly from the emergency room? Was she performing some emergency appendectomies or anything like that earlier this morning?
Well, Howie, this morning when I was getting ready for my show, I pulled a lot of sound of, CNN, like Wolf Blitzer. They couldn't even help themselves. They were so rude about Trump and his remarks and, laughing at him as he left and just really showed their disdain for him. And like he always says, for his supporters. But I couldn't believe the sound cut you played in the last segment. And I think we have to play it again. David Brooks crying.
It's the first time he's cried on TV since he saw the crease. And that was, 12 years ago. 12 years he's been holding back his tears.
It's really amazing. Can we play it one more time?
Go ahead.
Now, as I look at these faces, I must say I'm moved almost to tears by a lot of good people of different political views. But we have leaders who have not been able to be fully themselves. And they're good people. They're chatting. They're talking. They're wanting to run this country well. And this is opening day. And so now I find myself strangely moved and uplifted compared to where I was about 2 hours ago.
Get yourself together.
Yeah,
Get a grip.
I don't think you call it opening day. I know you weren't born in America, but opening day usually refers to the start of the baseball season, not inauguration day. Dave.
Exactly.
Maybe you can go to your citizenship class and learn some of these little American oddities.
Unless Dr. Fauci's thrown out a whopper, it's not opening day. But that's really
a couple of people
amazing.
are mentioning too, Grace. Does Stephen King not understand that you could basically call AOC a waitress? She was a bartender, but it's a very related field.
You know who else you could call a waitress?
Grace Curley.
Grace Elizabeth Curley, one of the best waitresses on the South Shore. Some have said. But here's my thing. AOC being a bartender is the same as I feel about Bernie Sanders dressing the way he wants to dress. I put that as a win in her column. It means she actually did something. So when people use that as a derogatory thing towards her, I don't think it makes sense. In the same way, I don't think it makes sense to say, oh, good luck as a cocktail waitress in Tampa. Like Stephen King, your elitism is showing and your sexism. Oh, by the way, Howie, I want to remind people, I'm doing this really cool thing, the Mail Manager's idea, and we're putting it together, and I'm so excited. If you guys have been wanting to go to the Fallensby Inn, I have the perfect weekend. It's the weekend of February 19th. I'm going to be there, and I cannot wait. You know, Howie, how much I love it there. I've tweeted about it a lot, talked about it a lot. Dennis is the best. He makes the best breakfast. It's just the most beautiful place to relax and walk around. I can't wait to go back. And if you guys want to join me, go to fallensbyinn.com. Reserve your rooms today. He has a good amount of rooms, but they're going to go fast. So make sure you get on board with that.
By the way, Grace, we were playing some cuts earlier. A rabbi compared him to Moses. Someone on MSNBC compared him to God. But if you're not into that monotheistic stuff, Judeo-Christian religion, you can worship fire too. Joe Biden reminds this guy on CNN, David Chalian, of lights, kind of like fire, Zoroastrianism from Persia those days. Listen to this, cut 37.
I mean, those lights that are just shooting out from the Lincoln Memorial along the reflecting pool. It's like almost extensions of Joe Biden's arms embracing America. It was a moment where the new president came to town and sort of convened the country in this moment of remembrance, outstretching his arms.
In a comfortable place now.
Oh!
Gently close your eyes. And see that there is an angel with a pitcher standing above you. And the angel now pours this pitcher over the top of your head. The light continues.
Did he do?
What was this lady's name again?
Williamson, isn't it?
Marianne Williamson.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss her.
Didn't he? He extended his arms to Tara Reid too once, and she filed a complaint.
Yeah, he's gotten in trouble a lot of times for extending his arms. but
do you think David Chalian remembers any of that, or does he care? Does he think anybody else would be reminded of it if he's talking about Joe Biden extending his arms?
The other thing I'd like to say is, and if people want to check out your thank you note to President Trump, they can do that at howiecarrshow.com. But I also want to thank him because, people always say like, oh, when I was a kid, you could watch the news and you didn't know which way they felt about it. They were pretty much down the middle. It's like, okay, so now they're crying. They're crying on Inauguration Day. They're saying that Joe Biden's arms remind them of lights and he's embracing the nation. I'm happy that Trump exposed these people for how non-serious they are. They're jokes. They're absolute jokes.
Grace, Trump, are you referring to the cruel pharaoh?
Oh, is that what we're calling Trump now?
The National Review called him the witless ape.
Witless ape?
Their headline today was "Witless Ape Rides Helicopter."
Oh my God!
Howie,
they're on my bleep list too. And again, I've told this story before, but I'll just tell it briefly. Before he ran for president, Donald Trump gave them Mar-a-Lago to have a fundraiser. Top of the line stuff for National Review. Rich Lowry. No good deed goes unpunished.
Oh, absolutely. Did you see today how Snoop Dogg was, there was a story in the New York Post that he was really happy about some of the pardons.
Yeah.
And that he thought Trump did a really good job. And I was just thinking to myself, how many people are going to come to that realization now that it's too late and say, oh, he actually wasn't that bad. Cool. Well, maybe if he had said that a year ago, we wouldn't be in this predicament.
Yeah. A.J. Liebling used to say, once you die, they're willing to write something nice about you now that it can't help you. But I don't think they'll ever write anything nice about Donald Trump, even in his obituaries. All right, Grace. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Have a good show.
Thanks. 844-500-4242. We'll take some calls in the next segment. With the incoming administration barging their way into office, this may cause some economic disturbance. Tax laws are going to change. Your tax burden on selling real estate will grow. Don't get caught flat-footed and squander the equity in your real estate. Sell today with J.J. Manning. For over 40 years, J.J. Manning has been the leading auction house in New England. From high-end homes to estates to commercial properties throughout New England, J.J. Manning can get your property sold fast and contingency-free. There's a big reason why Mass Lawyers Weekly voted J.J. Manning #1 for 4 consecutive years. Because they have a huge following of bidders who pay cash when you sell. When you sell with a broker, you pay the commission. But in an auction, the buyer pays. These are treacherous times in the real estate market. Commercial property is way down. A lot of residential property is way up, but not in the cities. To learn more on how to get your property sold fast, contact Charlie Gill at jjmanning.com. With over 16,000 sales and satisfied clients, you can be the next one. Don't squander the equity you've built up over years or decades. Call J.J. Manning today at 800-521-0111 or go to jjmanning.com and get your property sold. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie Carr will return after this brief commercial break.
What was that headline?